Okay, so ang pag-aaral natin ngayong araw ay potential energy and conservation of energy. Okay, yung discuss natin last time ay kinetic energy. Actually, nag-start tayo with yung discussion ng work, di ba? And then, nirelate natin yung work dun sa tawag dito, kinetic energy. At nakita natin na yung work is actually equal to the change in kinetic energy. Okay, and nakita natin na yung work ay pwede maging positive, negative, at saka zero. Positive yung work. Positive work implies na yung change in kinetic energy is also positive, meaning nag-increase yung speed at nag-increase yung kinetic energy. Pag negative yung work, ibig sabihin nag-decrease yung speed ng object and nag-decrease din yung kinetic energy. Okay, and now tingnan natin kung paano related yung potential energy dun sa work and dun sa kinetic energy. And tingnan natin and by relating yung potential energy sa kinetic energy, we should be able to see kung paano nako-conserve yung tawag dito yung total mechanical energy yung sinasabi. Okay, so dito sa figure na ito, slideshow. Okay, so dito sa figure na ito, makikita nyo yung isang example ng basketball. Okay, yung ginawa dito sa basketball is binato siya. Okay, para ma-shoot. Diba? Yun naman yung game ng basketball. Okay, and by throwing yung basketball dun sa hoop, okay, you're actually, tawag dito, applying energy dun sa bola, okay, para umakyat siya dun sa basket. Okay? Ang nangyayari sa kanya is yung tawag dito, binibigyan siya ng kinetic energy sa pagbato nyo dun sa bola, pero pagdating niya dun sa hoop, yung energy niya ay nababawasan. Alam natin yun from previous lesson, di ba? Kasi sinabi natin na habang umaakyat ang isang object, yung kanyang speed ay bumabagal, and that's because gravity is acting on the object and it's pulling the object downward. Okay? So anong nangyayari actually dun sa kinetic energy nung object? Okay, ang nangyayari sa kinetic energy ng object is that it's being converted to potential energy. Okay? Anong klaseng potential energy to? So actually maraming iba't ibang klase ng potential energy. Ang pinag-uusapan natin potential energy dito ay gravitational potential energy. So what's happening here is that kung magsisimula tayo sa definition natin ng work, so yung work is equal to force times distance. Yung force dito dahil pakyat lang yung bola, di ba? So yung bola ay binato nyo lang. So habang pakyat yung bola na yan, the only force that's acting on the ball is gravitational force. So yung weight lang yan ng bola. And yung distance na tinatravel niya is, let's say, from point Y1 to point Y2. So yung weight ng bola times yung distance na Y2 minus Y1. Okay, so pwede natin isulat yung weight niya as mg and then Y2 minus Y1 or mgy2 minus mgy1. Now, we can call this quantity mgy as the gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy. Okay, and yung gravitational potential energy niyan we write as mgy. Okay, mgy, mass of the object. Okay, then yung acceleration due to gravity times yung position ng object. Now, merong importanteng bagay dito na kailangan natin i-consider. Na dito, first of all, this is actually a change in potential energy, right? from the final to the from the initial to the final. Okay. Wait. Kailangan maging consistent tayo sa ano, no? Sa terminologies or sa quantities. Okay, so sorry pero babaguhin ko to. Gagawin ko tong y1. Ito ay gagawin kong y2 kasi gusto ko maging consistent dito sa figure nito. Kasi sa figure nito, ito yung y1. Ito naman yung y2. Okay, so babaguhin ko to. Gagawin ko tong yun lang yung change na nangyari. Okay, so y1, y2. Okay? Sa figure na ito, yung y1 is this one, this height, and then yung y2 is this height. Okay? So essentially, this is y2 minus y1. Okay? So yung from this point to this point, that's y2 minus y1. So kino-consider dito actually is yung pagbagsak niya. Y2 yung final position and then yung y1 yung initial position. Okay? So in any case, itong difference na ito represents yung change in the gravitational potential energy. So ano ang nangyayari dito? So nakita natin. Okay, actually, yung y1 dito is greater than y2. Diba? Y1 is greater than y2. So makikita natin this change is actually negative kasi y1 is greater than y2. So ang y2 is the final and nalilito ko na kayo. Kakagaling nyo lang sa Bagyo. Tapos ito kagad yung makakasalubong ninyo, di ba? Okay. So, sige. For now, we'll just write it like this. So, work is related to the change in potential energy. Okay. Now, if you look at this figure, ito yung kasi pababa yung motion na kino-consider natin. So, ito yung actually yung final position niya. Ito yung initial position niya. So, we're going to write work in that way. So, we're going to write work as yung final position. Okay, yung final position is indicated by 2, di ba? So 2, and then yung initial position 1. So it's actually mgy2 minus mgy1. And here we can see that the work is equal to negative delta U. Okay, so yung work is related to the negative change in gravitational potential energy. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin yan? So, ang ibig sabihin yan is that habang bumababa yung bola, okay, or habang bumababa yung object, ano nangyayari sa work? Is it positive work or negative work? Positive, di ba? Kasi alam natin from previous lesson na pareho lang yung weight, direction ng weight, at saka yung displacement. So positive yung work. Now, if the work is positive, okay, ibig sabihin yung change in potential energy is negative. Ibig sabihin kung nag-i-increase yung work, nagdi-decrease yung gravitational potential energy. Okay, and nagdi-decrease naman talaga siya kasi this gravitational potential energy is less than this gravitational potential energy, di ba? This is higher potential energy, this is lower potential energy, and pag bumababa siya, nagdi-decrease yung gravitational potential energy. Kasi nga, yung gravitational potential energy is measured with respect to to the ground. Okay? This is higher, this is lower. So, anong tawag dito? Bumababa talaga yung gravitational potential energy. So if the work is positive, the kinetic energy increases, but the potential energy decreases. Okay, and this tells us something about the relationship between kinetic energy and potential energy. So pag bumababa yung bola, nababawasan yung potential energy, pero nag-i-increase yung kinetic energy. So anong nangyayari is na-convert yung potential energy into kinetic energy. Okay, and yung tawag natin doon is conservation of energy, or more specifically, conservation of mechanical energy. Okay, so yun yung nangyayari dito. Okay, so in a long jump, okay, anong ginagawa niya? So tumatakbo muna siya, di ba? To increase yung kanyang kinetic energy, and once it has gained sufficient energy, gagamitin niya yung energy na yon to propel himself upward, or well, not necessarily upward, but in a parabolic path, di ba? Para ma-achieve niya yung long jump. So ang nangyayari dito is meron kang kinetic energy dito, gagamitin niya yung kinetic energy para i-convert into gravitational potential energy. Okay, and syempre, may tawag dito, may maximum lang na gravitational potential energy dyan. Pagdating niya sa maximum, ililipat ulit ng tawag dito ng gravity pabalik sa kinetic energy. Okay, yung tawag dito, yung energy ng yung tao. Okay? So ganun yung nangyayari. So nagko-convert lang from kinetic energy to potential energy, and to kinetic and back to kinetic energy. Now, ang assumption dito na kailangan natin tandaan is that there are no other forces. Okay? We assume that no other forces are present. No other. Pag sinulat ko ba yung word na dissipative, naintindihan nyo ba yan? Dissipative. Naintindihan nyo bang ibig sabihin yan o hindi? Oops, sorry. No other dissipative forces. Okay, yun yung assumption natin dito. Are present. Alam niyo ba ibig sabihin nun? Pag yung word na dissipative, pwede rin sumagot yung mga nag-online. Okay, ibig sabihin, di ba pag na-dissipate, ibig sabihin na na-use up, di ba, or nagagamit. Okay? Ano bang examples ng dissipative forces? So, friction. Okay. Isang example yan ng dissipative force. Kasi ano bang ginagawa ng friction? Ang friction, syempre may work din yan na ginagawa, di ba? Dun sa tawag dito, dun sa object. Ibig sabihin, gumagamit din siya ng energy. Pero anong ginagawa niya dun sa energy na ginagamit niya? Alam niyo ba? Okay, i-rub niyo yung kamay niyo gano'n. Yan, may friction yan. Diba? Ano nangyayari pag umiinit? So anong ginagawa ng friction? Kino-convert niya into heat energy. And yung heat energy na yun, hindi niyo na yung mababawi. Diba? Kasi nandoon na sa air yun. Okay? Kaya siya dissipative. Okay? Kasi kinukuha niya yung energy, okay, na ini-spend nyo sa pag-grab, diba? May energy para mag-grab kayo ng hands. Okay? Pero kukunin niya ng friction at ibibigay niya, i-convert niya to heat energy at ibibigay niya yung heat energy na yun sa air. Okay? So hindi niyo na mababawi yung energy niyo, kaya siya tinawag na dissipative kasi gagastusin niyo yun at wala nang sukli. Okay, yun yung ibig sabihin. Okay, air resistance is also a type of dissipative force. Okay, so makikita niyo na yung mga ganung klaseng forces ay tawag dito, hindi sila tawag dito. Well, nag-access sila ng energy. Okay. Now, ano bang mga applications ang alam niyo na tawag dito, ginagamit niyo itong concept ng conversion ng mechanical energy from kinetic to potential and back to kinetic, yung mga ganun. So, other than ito, meron pa ba kayo naisip na ibang applications? Pwede rin sumagot yung mga online, ha? Mahilig ba kayong manood ng wrestling? Yung wrestling sa TV. Ano pa ba nun? WWF ba ang tawag doon? WWE pala. WWF. Okay. So WWE. Anong ginagawa ng mga wrestlers doon? May isa sa mga ginagawa nila. Ano na? Ni Islam, di ba? Bakit nila ini-Islam? Siyempre gusto nilang basically saktan, di ba? Para disable sort of, di ba? Yung ano. Pero isa nilang ginagawa is tumatayo sila pumunta sila sa corner, right? Tapos umakyat sila doon, di ba? Ba't sila umakyat doon? Yes, para tumalon. So anong physics doon? Kasi the higher you go up, di ba? Mas malaki actually yung ini-store nyo na potential energy. Kasi kung nakatayo lang kayo dyan, pareho kayong level, di ba, sa ground, tapos siniko nyo siyang pababa, di ba, ang hina nun, kumpara sa kung aakyat ka dun sa corner, tapos tatalon ka, tapos isiko mo pababa, di ba, mas malakas yung siko doon, di ba? So when you go up, you're actually storing gravitational potential energy. Okay, and then when you jump, nako-convert yung potential energy na yan into kinetic energy. So by that simple act of going up, diba? Going up dun sa corner ay pwede na kayo mag-store ng energy. Okay, and actually nag-store kayo ng energy dito ngayon. Nag-store tayong lahat ng energy dito in relation to, for example, dun sa parking lot. Okay, kasi pag tawag dito, pag tumalon tayo from this level papunta dun sa parking lot, obviously yung energy na store natin ay mako-convert into kinetic energy. Okay? So, mapapansin din natin na ang tawag dito, the way we store potential energy, gravitational potential energy specifically, will depend on kung saang level natin gagamitin. Di ba? Yung energy na yon, right? Like, ngayon, nasa second floor tayo, pero kung with respect to the second floor lang yung pagbabasihan natin, mababa lang yung in-store natin na potential energy. Pero kung with respect to the parking lot, mataas yung store natin na potential energy. Okay, so this is an important thing to remember. Okay, potential energy, so walang absolute na gravitational potential energy. Or in general, walang absolute na potential energy. It's always with respect to some reference. Okay, so kaya nga pag nagbabasa kayo ng mga problems, nagbabasa kayo ng exercises dito, pag ang sasabihin parati is gravitational potential energy with respect to something. With respect to the ground or with respect to to something, diba? Parating merong ginagamit na reference. Okay? Okay. So, from that, okay, makikita natin na from this figure, makikita natin na tawag dito yung kinetic energy at saka yung potential energy ay related through this. Okay, so di ba sinabi natin na ang work is equal to change in kinetic energy at yung work ay equals to negative change in potential energy. So ang change in kinetic energy ay equals to negative change in potential energy. And this is the mathematical statement for conservation of energy. Okay? Conservation of energy. Okay, now ang delta K is final minus initial, right? And ang delta U is final minus initial. Okay, so negative, may negative sign dito kasi may negative sign doon. Okay? So kung ililipat ko lahat ng initial sa isang side at yung final sa isang side, okay, ang makukuha ko is KF plus UF is equal to KI plus UI. Okay, which is another statement for the conservation of energy. Kasi ang sinasabi dito is yung initial na total mechanical energy ay equal sa final na total mechanical energy. Okay, which means na walang na waste na energy. Kasi the same pa rin yung initial at saka yung yung final na energy. So this is another statement for the conservation of energy. So ang K plus U is called the total mechanical energy. Okay, and we say that the total mechanical energy is conserved. Okay, total mechanical energy is conserved. Yan basically yung statement ng conservation of energy. Initial energy is equal to the final energy. Okay, so let's consider this example. Okay, so height of a baseball from energy conservation. Okay. So you throw a 0.145 kilogram baseball straight up, giving it an initial velocity of magnitude 20 meters per second. Find how high it goes, ignoring air resistance. Okay. So, madali lang na ma-imagine kung ano nangyayari, di ba? Babatuhin nyo lang yung bola, okay, giving it an initial velocity of magnitude 20 meters. Okay, find how high it goes, ignoring air resistance. So, ito yung figure that represents kung anong nangyayari. Okay, when you throw the ball, initially, meron siyang 20 meters per second na speed. Okay, and tawag dito, ito na siguro yung tamang time para sabihin na tawag dito, yung iba kasi sa inyo sa first exam, yung initial velocity ng pagbato or paghagis or ano ba yung nasa exam, ay 0. Diba? So, paano kung yung initial velocity, paano gagalaw yung object kung yung initial velocity ay 0? Naisip niyo ba yun? 0 nga yung initial velocity niya, di ba? So, di ba? Paano siya gagalaw? Di ba? So, di ba may sense na kaya siya gumagalaw kasi meron siyang initial velocity to begin with, right? Okay, so yun yung may sense, yun yung physics doon. So, if an object is thrown up, ibig sabihin meron siyang finite value for the initial velocity. And in this case, ang finite value ng initial velocity is 20 meters per second. And alam din natin from experience na sa pinakatuktok, titigil siya. Okay, and sa pinakatuktok, ibig sabihin 0 yung kanyang, ang tawag dito, yung kanyang speed. Okay? So, yun yung nangyayari. Okay, importante na ma-figure out niyo or pag binasa niyo yung problem, importante na ma-imagine niyo kung anong nangyayari. Kung walang figure na ganito, di ba? Ma-imagine niyo kung anong nangyayari. So, ang tinatanong is, gaano siya kataas? Okay, find how high it goes. Okay, and ignore air resistance. Obviously, ignore natin air resistance kasi sinabi natin kanina, air resistance is dissipative. Okay, so, ano nangyayari dito? So, we start from yung kung saan siya binato, which is at y1 equals 0, and kung saan siya tumigil, which is at y2. So itong height na to, ito yung ating hinahanap. Okay, now kung hahanapin nyo kung nasa ng coordinate system, papansin nyo na gumamit siya ng arrow dyan. So ibig sabihin, ina-assume niya na positive y ay mataas. Okay, so dalawa yung positions, di ba? Dito yung initial position at dito yung final position. So at the initial position, ano yung kinetic energy niya? Okay, ano yung total mechanical energy? Yun na lang tatanungin ko. At the initial position, ano yung total mechanical energy? Hindi ko siya ma-zoom. So at the initial position, ano yung total mechanical energy? Kinetic plus potential, right? Anong kinetic energy niya dito? It's 1/2 yung mass, 0.145 kilograms times yung speed niya na 20 meters per second squared. Plus yung potential energy niya dito. Potential energy niya is 0.145 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared times y1, which is 0. Diba? Kasi nandito sa level na ito. Okay, so y1. Yan yung total mechanical energy dyan sa level na yan. Ano naman total mechanical energy dito sa level na ito? So dito, ang V2 is 0. So 1/2 times 0.145 kilograms times 0 meters per second squared plus 0.145 kilograms, okay, times 9.8 meters per second squared, okay, times Y2. Yun yung Y2 yung hinahanap natin. Okay, and according sa conservation of energy, etong total mechanical energy should be equal sa initial at saka sa final position. So from there, since ito ay 0 yan, at ito ay 0, yung itong term na ito, 0.145 times 9.8 meters per second squared times Y2 should be equal to 1/2 times 0.145 kilograms times 20 meters per second squared. Okay, and from there, pwede nyo nang makuha yung, or pwede nyo nang masolve yung Y2. Okay? So medyo straightforward naman yan, no? So from here, dito sa solution na ito, okay, okay. Dito, supposedly may U1 kayo dyan, pero yung U1 is 0. Kasi yung Y1 is 0. And dito, supposedly may K2 kayo dito, pero yung K2 is 0 kasi yung V2 ay 0. Tama? So 0 ito, 0 yan, kaya K1 is equal to this one. So ito na lang yung matitira. Okay, and we can solve for Y2, and makikita natin is Y2 is 20.4 meters. Okay, mataas-taas din yung 20.4 kasi remember this is 3 meters, di ba itong height na to? Okay, yung height ng classroom natin. So 20.4 is how many? 6.5 floors, di ba? So yung 20 meters per second na pagbato niya, okay, is enough para umakyat yung bola ng 6.5 floors. Okay. Questions? Kung meron questions sa mga uma-attend online, pwede nyo i-mute yung mic nyo tapos tanungin nyo na lang kaagad. Okay? Or pwede nyo i-type sa chat. Okay. Meron ba nagtatanong? Tingnan natin. Okay. So walang nagtatanong as usual. Okay. Asa na ba yung dito? Chat. Okay. So walang chat message. Okay. Okay. So siguro masyado pang madali. Tama ba? Okay. Now, kanina in-assume natin na anong tawag dito? Wala tayong air resist. Wala tayong dissipative force. Okay, maganda na. Kung ngayon nyo lang natutunan yung dissipative force, okay, maganda na matutunan nyo yun. Tapos, kasi pag nakasakay kayo sa jeep, diba? Cool na word yun para pakinggan ng ibang mga pasahero, di ba? Nakasakay kayong magkaibigan sa jeep, no? Tapos nag-uusap kayo about dissipative forces, di ba? Madidinig kayo ng mga katabi nyo na, uy, taga-UP siguro itong mga to. Tapos makikita nila yung ID ninyo, uy, taga-UP nga. Okay, wala tayong maintindihan. Okay, so, anong effect pag meron ng dissipative force? Lahat ng dissipative forces, lahat naman ng forces, tulad na natutunan natin from last meeting, does work, lahat ng forces do work on objects. Diba? So, we can consider yung work done by the dissipative force as work other. Okay, yun yung symbolize natin yan. So this is the work done by dissipative forces. Okay, and paano yan mag-work, or paano natin siya i-incorporate dun sa conservation of energy natin na equation. Okay, it has to be conserved din, di ba? So on one side of the equation, nandoon yung initial total mechanical energy, and on the other side, nandoon yung final na total mechanical energy. So if it's dissipative, yung final na total mechanical energy is less than the initial. Kasi nga, babawasan ng dissipative force yung initial na energy. Diba? Yun yung ginagawa ng dissipative force. So how do we incorporate that sa ating equations? So what we do first is yung work other, okay, or sorry, we actually start with the gravitational force, work done by the gravitational potential energy, okay, work done by the gravitational force, okay, and related to the change in kinetic energy. Okay, ito alam na natin to from last meeting. Okay? Okay, and yung work done by the gravitational force, okay, is alam natin a negative change in potential energy. So this is U1 minus U2. Okay, equals a K2 minus K1. Okay? So pag sinulat natin ito, nire-write natin, lagay natin yung lahat ng U1 kasama ng work other. So K1, okay, plus U1 plus work other is equal to K2 plus U2. Okay, remember, this is the initial total mechanical energy, and this is the final total mechanical energy. Now, paano nangyari yun bakit nasa left-hand side yung work other? Eh, mas malaki nga dapat yung initial, diba? Mas malaki dapat itong initial na total mechanical energy kesa final na total mechanical energy. Diba? Kasi babawasan na niya, gagamitin niya na The only way for that to make sense is that yung work other is negative. Yeah. Kasi babawasan na niya. Diba? Babawasan na niya yung total na initial mechanical energy. Okay? So when you write yung dissipative forces na yan, you expect na negative yung work done by those forces. And negative naman talaga yung work. Let's consider friction again from last meeting. So pag nag-move kayo in a certain direction, o pag yung object ay nag-move in a certain direction, forward direction, let's say, anong direction ng friction? Backward, di ba? So makikita natin na yung work done by friction is negative kasi magkaiba yung direction, opposite in direction yung force at saka yung displacement. Okay? Kaya negative, in-expect natin na negative yung dissipative force. Okay? Kasi opposite parati yung displacement at saka yung force. Okay? Okay. Siyempre magko-consider na tayo ng example. Now, before we consider this example, okay, anong tawag dito? Mag-CCR muna ako kasi nahihina ako eh. Okay. Buti kayo, pwede lang kayo lumabas at bumalik ng classroom, pero nang hindi na-istorbo yung lesson, di ba? Pero ako hindi. Kailangan ko tuloy-tuloy ko lang yung recording o ipopost ko ba? Post ko na lang. Record and assume natin yung lesson. So, pinag-usapan natin kanina, bago ako tinawag ng kalikasan ay yung dissipative forces at kung paano natin siya i-integrate dun sa conservation of energy. So we'll tawag dito, we'll discuss the same problem pero dadagdagan natin ng konting tawag dito, mechanics. So suppose your hand moves upward by 0.5 meters while you are throwing the ball. And yun naman talaga yung ginagawa natin, di ba? Para mabato natin yung bola, nag-move talaga upward yung kamay. Okay. The ball leaves your hand with an upward velocity of 20 meters per second. Okay. Find the magnitude of the force, okay, assume constant, that your hand exerts on the ball. Okay? So kailan lang merong force tawag dito? Sa letter A, kailan lang present itong force nito? Kapag binabato or habang inaangat yung bola, papaakyat. Right? So, dito sa position na ito, di ba, sa simula, stationary yung hand ninyo. And para mabigyan nyo ng speed yung bola, kailangan i-move nyo rin yung hand upward. Right? Okay. And then saka nyo bibitawan at kung ano yung speed ng pagbitaw ninyo at that instant is the same speed as the ball. Okay, yun yung hinahanap ang hinahanap dito is yung force. Now, sinabi rin dito na ina-assume natin na constant yung force na yan. Which means na when we apply yung equation, di ba, ang equation is actually this one, at dahil constant siya, pwede na natin ilabas yung F ds. So, ibig sabihin, F times S na lang siya. Okay? Yun yung kinaganda dyan pag constant yung ano. At dapat matuwa kayo pag constant yung force kasi hindi nyo kailangan mag-integrate, right? Okay, so letter B ang pinapahanap is find the speed of the ball at a point 15 meters above the point where it leaves your hand. Okay, so dito, hanapin natin yung speed at this level. Okay, alam natin na at 20.4 meters, yung speed ay 0. So ano yung speed niya at 15 meters? Okay, now, so we can start here, okay, dito sa position na ito. Okay. Ano yung total mechanical energy dyan sa position na yan? So at Y1, ang total mechanical energy, okay, ano bang kinetic energy dyan? Kinetic energy is, since V1 is 0, ang kinetic energy is 0. So K1 is equal to 0. Ano yung potential energy, gravitational potential energy? Ang gravitational potential energy is mgy. So U1 is equal to mgy. Pero kung mapapansin nyo, dito sinet yung origin. So itong position na ito is negative, is 0.5 meters below the origin, kaya siya negative. Okay? So ang mangyayari dito ngayon, this will become, ano yung mass ng bola? 0.145, ano? Kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared, and yung y natin is negative 0.5 meters. Okay, and if you solve for that, yung potential energy at that level, gravitational potential energy at that level is negative 0.71 joules. Okay, again, kaya siya negative kasi yung reference natin is this position. Ito yung position na Y2. Yan yung reference. So with respect to that, yan ay negative 0.71 joules. Okay. So yan yung total mechanical energy dyan sa level ng Y1. So at Y2, ano yung kinetic energy? So 1/2 mv squared, 0.145 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared times 20 meters per second squared. This gives us 29 joules. And at Y2, ano yung gravitational potential energy? Anong gravitational potential energy? Anong value ng Y2 dito? Ang value ng Y2 ay 0. Okay? So mgy2, this is just equal to 0. Okay, kasi yan yung ginamit natin na reference. Okay, now, if, halimbawa, sa exam, pinili nyo na ito yung reference, Okay, 0 joules yan. Ito magiging 0.71 joules. Okay, kasi ito na yung naging reference nyo eh. Ito yung reference nyo. Kung halimbawa yun yung pinili ninyo. Okay? And hindi nagmamatter yun. Okay? Kasi tawag dito, when you do the calculations, lilitaw pa rin na tama yung magiging consistent pa rin yung signs. Okay. So, burin ko na to for now. And then, balik tayo dito sa problem nito. So, anong pinapahanap dito? Ano yung force? So, yung force na yun ay i-consider natin as other forces. Okay? Bakit natin siya i-consider as other force? Ano sa tingin niyo? It's not dissipative, di ba? Actually, nakakatulong nga siya. Diba? Kasi siya yung nagkukos ng nagkukos ng pag-increase niya, di ba? Okay, well, we consider that as other force. It's tawag dito kasi, yun nga, kasi siya yung nagbibigay ng speed dun sa object. It's not gravity, di ba? It's not normal force, but it's normal force kasi it's the force that tawag dito, the hand exerts on the ball, and that force is up. So base dun sa equation na diniscuss natin kanina, K1 plus U1 plus work other is equal to K2 plus U2. Okay? And hinahanap actually natin yung force done by the hand. And yun yung nga yung work other. So ang work other ngayon dito will be equal to pag nilipat natin yung K1 at saka K2 sa kabila, ang K1 by the way is 0, di ba sinabi natin? So this is 0 at ang U2 is 0. So pag nilipat natin yung sa kabila, K2 minus U1 na lang yan. Ang K2 is 29 joules at ang U1 is minus negative 0.71 joules. Okay, so which means na work other is equal to 29 joules plus 0.71. Okay, so 29.7 joules. So yun yung work other. And equal to sa force na in-exert ng hand times yung displacement. Okay? Ano yung displacement? 0.5 meters. Okay? So, ang force, ano ko ba gagawin? Dito, gawa na lang ako ng bagong slide. Okay, and okay, so ang force ngayon is equal to work other divided by yung displacement. Ang work other is 29.7 joules divided by 0.5 meters. So ang force exerted by the hand is equal to 59 newtons. Okay, so 59 newtons. Okay? So medyo magaan lang yan kasi 'di ba kinompare natin yung pwede natin ito i-compare sa weight. The last time sabi natin 50 kilograms. 50 kilograms yung pretend weight ko, naalala niyo ba 'yon? Tapos pretend mass, 'di ba? So halos 490 newtons, 'di ba? Yung weight tapos kung iaangat niyo ako ng 3 meters, that's about 1,470 joules, 'di ba? Sorry, 490 newtons yung weight ng isang 50 kilogram na tao. So this is about yung 59 newtons na yan. That's a little more than 10%. Ba nung weight ng isang 50 kilograms na tao. So hindi siya ganoon kalakas na force. Kasi it's just 10 times the weight of an average, 10 times smaller than the weight of an average person. Okay? So yun yung ibig sabihin ng force. Okay, so letter B, find the speed of the ball at a point 15 meters above the point where it leaves your hand. Ignore air resistance. Sayang, yun pa naman yung tawag dito. Pinag-aaralan natin dito, dissipative force, pero ignore pala natin yung air resistance. Siyempre, tuwan-tuwa na kayo dyan. Diba? So, alam natin na sa level ng Y2, yung tawag dito, yung potential energy is 0. Okay, at yung kinetic energy is 1/2 mv squared. Kinumpute na natin yan ay 29 joules. Right? Right? Okay. Now, at this level, Y3, okay, ano yung total mechanical energy? So at Y3, so letter B na tayo, no? At Y3, yung kinetic energy is 1/2 mv3 squared plus mg Y3. Okay, so 1/2 times 0.145 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared times ilan yung V3? Anong speed niya raw? Yun yung hinahanap natin, ano? Okay, so V3 squared plus 0.145 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared times ano ang Y3? 15 meters. Okay. So 15 meters. So at Y3, ano ang dito, total energy? So this gives us 21.3 joules. 21.3 joules. Now, itong sum na ito, equal yan sa anong value ng total mechanical energy? Hindi zero. Ano bang reference natin? Oops. Ang reference natin ay itong sa level ng Y2, di ba? Right? At dyan sa level na yan, anong total mechanical energy? (29 joules. Di ba? Kasi wala kang gravitational potential energy, 0. Di ba? Pero yung speed mo is 20 meters per second. So na-compute natin na yan ay 29 joules. Ayan o. 29 joules. Which means na this whole thing here, okay, is equal to 29 joules. So we have 1/2 times 0.145 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared V3 squared, okay, plus itong 21.3 joules equal sa 29 joules. So pwede na natin isolve ngayon yung V3. Okay? So by doing simple algebra, we get V3 to be equal to plus or minus 10 meters per second. Okay? Again, mathematically, plus or minus yung pag-take ng square root. Right? Now, at Y3, ano ang tama? Plus or minus? Or both? Anong tamang sign? Yung plus or yung minus or yung both? Plus. Kasi anong nire-represent niya? Anong klaseng motion yung nire-represent niya? Ano yung movement ng bola at Y3 pag plus? Paakyat. Diba? Paakyat. Pero remember, punta siya sa taas, and then babalik pa rin siya sa Y3. Sa level ng Y3, di ba? Pababa na siya nun. So actually, both are correct signs. Okay? Kasi ang plus represents upward and yung negative represents downward. And hindi naman sinasabi sa problem kung paakyat yung bola or pababa yung bola. Sinasabi lang is at level y3, okay, ano yung kanyang velocity. Okay, so both positive tsaka negative answers signs should be considered. Okay. Okay? Questions? Okay, break muna tayo ng 10 minutes. Okay, para i-refresh yung inyong yung utak. Okay, so 12:54 na, balik tayo ng 105, sabihin na natin. So, record na ulit tayo. And proceed na ulit tayo sa next item. Okay, so far, ang kinoconsider na natin na motion dito is yung puro straight path na. Okay. Some motions ay hindi straight yung path. Like, tawag dito, or in general, ganyan yung itsura. Okay. So, paano natin i-consider yung tawag dito? Obviously, the reason kung bakit curved yung path niya is because merong ibang force, okay, na ina-exert dun sa object that causes it to change direction. Right? Okay, so kaya dyan, makikita nyo sa figure na merong F other, okay, that tawag dito, causes yung object na ito to follow that curved path. Okay, so yung work done by the gravitational force, okay, depends on the vertical component of the displacement y. Okay, so itong vertical component na yan. Okay? Pero hindi sa horizontal component. Alam niyo kung bakit? So yung work done by the gravitational force, okay, by the gravitational force, is dependent only on the y component of the displacement. But it's entirely independent of the x component of the displacement. Kasi ito yung displacement niya, di ba? Hindi yung displacement niya, may x at y components. So bakit hindi siya nagde-depend sa tawag dito? Sa x component. Alam niyo na yung sagot dyan. Kasi pinag-aralan niyo yan last meeting. Ano yan? Hindi, yun na nga. Kung gravitational force lang yung nag-act dyan, ano yung work na ginagawa ng gravity? So work done by gravity is force times displacement, di ba? Pero yung displacement dito, yung delta S, medyo nakatabi. Diba? Kasi nga curved na yung path. Pero ang sinasabi natin ngayon is walang effect yung horizontal component ng displacement na yan dun sa work done. Ang meron lang effect is yung vertical component. Okay, which is parallel dun sa, dito sa figure, di ba? Parallel siya dun sa gravitational force. Bakit? Constant lang yung weight. Oh, constant yung weight. Okay, that's one reason. Pero it's not, that's one, tawag dito. That's a given, pero hindi siya yung reason. Zero yung work, exactly. Kasi di ba, yung work done, yung force is downward, yan yung weight eh. Pero kung ang displacement is, tawag dito, horizontal, yung work done by this is zero. Kasi di ba, Fs sine theta, di ba? And theta is 90 in this case. So, wala tayong pakialam actually when we're talking about work done, okay, by gravitational force on an object that is moving in a curved path. Wala tayong pakialam sa horizontal displacement niya kasi yung horizontal displacement gives you zero work. Pero yung vertical na displacement, yun yung nagbibigay sa inyo ng work. Okay? So in fact, pag generalize nyo yan, okay, at any point dito sa trajectory niya, sa path niya, ang importante lang ay yung vertical displacement. Wala kayong pakialam sa horizontal displacement. And that makes things easier, di ba, para sa atin. Kasi, alam niyo, hindi na kayo magbe-vectors eh. Di ba? Titignan niyo na lang yung vertical component or yung component that is parallel to the gravitational force. Okay? So yeah. Okay. Now, tignan natin ito isang conceptual na example. So a batter hits two identical balls with the same initial speed, okay, and from the same initial height, okay, but at different angles. Prove that both balls have the same speed at any height h if air resistance can be ignored. Okay? So naintindihan niyo ba yung problem? Two identical balls with the same initial speed pero magkaibang initial angles. So dahil magkaiba yung initial angles, magkaiba sila ng trajectory. Ito yung initial angle ng isa, yung kulay gray, okay, higher than yung initial angle ng isa, ng kulay blue. Okay, now if we draw a line at the same height, okay, regardless kung ano yung trajectory, they will have the same speed. Yun yung gustong i-prove dito. They will have the same speed, initial speed, have the same speed at any height h, okay, if air resistance can be ignored. So paano yung papatunayan yan? So you use conservation of energy. Okay, obviously dito sa sa point na ito, regardless kung yung gray or yung blue, pare-pareho sila ng total mechanical energy. Okay. If you set this level to zero height, kaya yung y1 equals 0 mo, then yung gravitational force mo ay gravitational potential energy ay 0. Okay? Ang meron ka lang is kinetic energy. Now at this level h, okay, anong meron diyan? Both gravitational potential energy at saka kinetic energy ay present. Okay, so yung sum nilang dalawa is equal to the total mechanical energy. And notice that it doesn't depend on kung ano man yung angle yung initial angle ng pagbato. Diba? Kasi ano ba tong equation na yan? Yung k is 1/2 mv squared plus mgy or mgh. Okay. mgh. Ayaw magsulat. Uy, nabura. It's 1/2 mv squared plus mgh. Walang nakalagay na dito, cosine, di ba? Cosine theta or sine theta na angle dyan. Okay, so, regardless kung ano yung angle, initial angle, pare-pareho lang, at that height, pare-pareho lang yung kanilang speed. And that we have proven through the total, through the conservation of energy. Well, the reason kung bakit pare-pareho sila is because energy is conserved. Okay, now consider natin ito ngayon. So this problem involves skateboards, okay, down a curved, frictionless ramp. Marunong ba kayo mag-skateboard? Hindi. Meron bang marunong mag-skateboard dyan sa online? Wala. Tahimik nyo ah. Okay, so your cousin, meron pala kayong foreigner na pinsan. Ang pangalan ay Throckmorton. Skateboards from rest down a curved, frictionless ramp. Okay, if we treat Rocky and his skateboard as a particle, okay, he moves through a quarter circle with radius r equals 3 meters. Rocky and his skateboard have a total mass of 25 kilograms. Find the speed at the bottom of the ramp and find the normal force that acts on him at the bottom of the curve. Okay, so for this, gagamitin natin ito ng tawag dito ng gravitational, ng conservation of energy. Dalawang points lang yung kailangan natin i-consider. Point 1, kung saan siya initially nanggaling, and point 2, dun sa bottom ng ramp. Okay. So, anong nangyayari dun sa ano? Anong nangyayari dito sa forces na nag-act sa kanya? At point 1, ang kaisa-isang force na nag-act sa kanya ay ang tawag dito ay yung weight lang. Okay? So, walang normal force. Pero habang pababa siya dun sa ramp, okay, dahil meron ng component yung weight, okay, along the vertical, yung normal force along the vertical, nagkakaroon ng normal force as he goes down. And then pagdating sa baba, yung normal force, okay, ay paakyat na, and then or vertical na yung direction, and then yung weight ay vertical din yung direction. Okay. So letter A, find the speed at the bottom of the ramp. Gagamitin natin yung conservation of energy. At point 1, ano yung kanyang energy? Point 1, ano yung energy niya? Yung kinetic ay 0 kasi, sabi dito, 0 yung initial na speed. So K1 is equal to 0 because yung kanyang initial na speed is 0. What about yung kanyang potential, gravitational potential energy at U1? U1. So ano yung kanyang gravitational potential energy? Gaano siya kataas? Anong height niya? Dun sa point 1, relative sa ground. Ha? 3? Walang given na number. Meron nga 3. Well, equals sa radius. Diba? Kasi nga, quarter of a circle siya. Right? Right? So this is quarter of a circle. So ibig sabihin parang isang quadrant yan, di ba? Isang quadrant. So ibig sabihin itong height na to is, this will be the center, itong height na to is R. So tama ka na, yung kanyang distance ay 3 meters. So U1 is equal to mg, lagay na natin R para diretso na. Okay, so K2 ngayon is yung tawag dito, kinetic energy niya at level na y equals 0. Okay, at that level, ano ng speed niya? Ang speed niya ay v2. At yun yung pinapahanap, di ba? Find the speed at the bottom of the ramp. So that would be 1/2 mv2 squared. Okay, and then ang u at point 2 ito, point 2. Okay, and u2 is equal to 0, di ba? Yun yung sinabi dito. Okay? mgy, y is equal to 0, so ito ay 0. So, ang ibibigay sa atin ito ngayon is 1/2 mv2 squared is equal to mgr. Ngayon, ang m will cancel. Okay, so this gives us v2 is equal to square root ng 2gr. Okay, alam natin na ang r is 3 meters squared ito ng 2 times 9.8 meters per second squared times 3 meters. Okay, so ang V2 ngayon is equal to 7.67 meters per per second. So yan yung speed niya at the bottom of the graph. Gaano kabilis yan? Medyo mabagal lang siya, di ba? Nalala niyo kung gaano kabilis yung hand nung binabato yung bola? Ano yung release speed? Pag yung release speed niya, yung speed ng 20, di ba? 20 meters per second. Ito 7 lang to eh. So mabagal lang to. Diba? Mabagal lang yung speed niya. Kasi yung 20 meters per second, yung pagbato niya reaches 6.5 floors, right? Ito ay 7.6 lang, so 7.7. So relatively mabagal. Find the normal force that acts on him at the bottom of the curve. Okay. Now, you might think na equal yung normal force at saka yung weight. Okay. So, equal nga ba sila? So, at this point, ano ba yung forces na nag-act dun sa object? Siyempre yung weight, di ba, na nakalagay na nga dito, at saka yung normal force. So, along the y-axis, you have two forces. Diba? Yung normal force, we choose positive y to be upward. Normal force at saka yung weight. Now, according to Newton's second law, dapat yan ay equal sa mass times acceleration. Okay, ngayon ang tanong, ano yung acceleration dito? Ano ngayon yung nag-accelerate ba siya? Meron ba siyang acceleration at point 2? Ano acceleration niya? So this is, ano klaseng motion ito? Circular, di ba? Circular. Circular siya kahit quarter of a circle. Circle pa rin yan, di ba? So yun pa rin yung path. So kung meron ka circular motion, anong acceleration meron ka? Ano yung net na acceleration mo? Anong tawag doon sa net na acceleration? Radial acceleration. Okay. At saan nakaturo ang radial acceleration? Towards the center. So kung ito ay semicircle, kung ito ay quarter of a circle, di ba? Asan yung center? Andito yung center. Right? So ibig sabihin yung radial force, radial acceleration ay nakaturo towards the center. Okay, so same direction or same parallel with normal force at saka yung weight. Okay, so, ano ba ang radial acceleration? Okay, ano expression alam niyo about radial acceleration? V squared over R. Exactly. V squared over R. Ano yung V niya at point 2? (7.67) or 2GR, di ba? Kasi V squared to eh. So, kung titignan nyo rito, ang V squared is 2GR, right? So, pwede kong palitan to ng 2GR divided by R. Or, equal to sa 2G. So, ibig sabihin ito ay papalitan ko ng 2 times M times G. Kasi yung AY is equal to 2G. Okay? Okay? Ano ba tinatanong dito? Yung normal force, di ba? So ano daw yung normal force? Okay, at the bottom. Ano yung normal force at the bottom? So, okay, so normal force ngayon is equal to weight plus 2mg. Pero ang weight is just mg. So, ibig sabihin ito ay 3mg. Okay? So, 3 times, ano yung mass niya? Ano yung mass nila? 25, no? 25 yata. 25 kilograms. Okay, so yan. 25 kilograms total mass. And then yung radius na 3 meters. So, 25 kilograms times, but radius. Acceleration due to gravity. 9.8 meters per second squared. So, normal force will be 730 newtons. Okay, 735 newtons. Okay. O, gaano kalaki yan? Again, i-compare nyo dun sa i-compare nyo dun sa weight ng isang 50 kilogram person. Ano bang weight ng 50 kilogram person? 490 newtons. Diba? So, halos 1.5 times itong ano na to. At dahil hindi kayo nag-skateboard, hindi nyo na-imagine kung ano yung normal force na yan. Skateboard ka ba? Okay. So, hindi nyo na-imagine kung gaano kalakas yung normal force na yan. So, it's actually 1.5 times the weight of yung skateboarder at saka yung skateboard. So, nararamdaman niya yung ground na tumutulak sa kanya, okay, with that amount of force. Okay, so yun yung ibig sabihin. Okay, questions? Walang questions sa sa tawag dito sa ating viewers Okay. Aking tanong, di ba madali lang physics? Bakit pag examples ang dali-dali naintindihan ko pero pag nagsosolve na ako ng problem? Nagkakandaletse-letse na. Okay. So, suppose the ramp of example 7.4 is not frictionless. And that Rocky speed at the bottom is only 6 meters per second, not the 7.67 meters we found there. What work was done on him by the friction force? So, anong ginawa ng friction force? Okay. So, paano natin sinulat yung equation ulit? Na may nag-include yung yung work other. So yung initial muna, di ba? Yung initial na total mechanical energy plus yung work other is equal to the final na total mechanical energy. Okay, ano yung K1? Nalala nyo ba? Yung kinetic energy at point 1. 0 kasi yung velocity niya ay, initial speed niya ay 0. Okay? Yung U1 ay may value which is mgr. Okay? Yung U2 ay 0 kasi yun yung reference natin. Right? Sinet natin to 0 yung level na yun. Okay? At yung K2 is, yes, 1/2. So, ibig sabihin yung work other is equal to K2 minus U1. K2 is 1/2 times 25 kilograms times 7.67 squared meters per second squared minus 25 kilograms. Ilan to? 9.8 meters per second squared tapos yung radius na 3 meters. So yung work other is equal to ano yan? Ulit.
Yung velocity po is sa question, babalik 6.
Ay, oo nga pala. Tama. Dapat papalitan natin ito ng 6. Okay. Teka, papalitan ko na lang ng 6 na ganito. Okay lang? 6. Hindi ko mabura for whatever reason. Hindi ko mabura. Actually, alam ko naman yan. Tinitignan ko lang kung nakikinig kayo na. Okay. Good. Nakikinig yan. Nakikinig, di ba kayo dyan sa yung mga online? Okay, good. Okay, so in that case, ano na ang ating work other? Yung K2 na yan will give us 450 joules at yung U1 gives us 735 joules. So ito ngayon ay magiging equal sa negative 285 joules. Okay, dyan yung work done by other forces is negative 285 joules. Okay, yun naman yung tinatanong, ano? What work was done on him by the friction force? Okay, ano yung work na ginawa sa kanya ng frictional force? Negative 285 joules. Of course, again, pag nagsosolve kayo, okay, you know conceptually na yung work done by other forces is less than zero. It should be negative. So pag nakakuha kayo ng positive answer, magtaka kayo, di ba? Okay? So i-reconsider nyo ngayon yung solution niyo. Kung halimbawa na nagkamali kayo, tulad nung sinadya kong pagkakamali kanina, 7.67 meters per second ang nilagay ko dyan, ano sa tingin niyo yung magiging sagot dito? Anong difference? Actually, kasi nag-round off yun. Actually, zero. Kasi nga, di ba, kung nakuha natin yung 7.67 kasi in-equate natin yung K1 at saka K2 at saka U1. Right? Right. So, zero yun. Zero. Okay? So, pag nakuha nyo rin yung ganong sagot, magtaka ulit kayo. Di ba? Bakit zero? Dapat meron siyang value. Right? So ganon. Okay? So, yan. Pag nakakuha kayo ng negative answer at relatively malaki yung magnitude, okay. Confident na kayo na more or less tama yung sagot ninyo, pwede na kayo mag-move on sa next na problem. Ayos. Diba ang dali-dali lang talaga ng physics? Dapat ganyan yung i-psych yung sarili niyo. Dali lang pala eh. Bakit bagsak ako sa exam? Okay. But yung thing about repeating yung mga concepts na ito at saka yung mga procedures na ito is eventually na-figure out nila kung paano yung process. Like for example, yung kinematics, yung Newton's laws, di ba? Ngayon, na medyo marami exercises na nagiging familiar sa inyo yung paggamit ng Newton's laws. So, tignan natin itong sample 7.6. An inclined plane with friction. Yeah, inclined plane with friction. So, we want to slide a 12 kilogram crate up a 2.5 meter long ramp, inclined at 30 degrees. Okay, so yan nandiyan na yung figure. So nandiyan yung incline, yung ramp, naka-incline siya at 30 degrees. Ang haba nung ramp na yan is 2.5 meters, di ba? Yan yung haba niya, 2.5 meters. Okay, naka-indicate yan dyan. Okay, tapos ang mass ng crate is 12 kilograms. Okay, a worker ignoring friction calculates that he can do this by giving it an initial speed of 5 meters per second at the bottom and letting it go. Okay, so ibig sabihin, tutulak niya lang, ibigyan niya ng 5 meters per second na initial speed, tapos hayaan niya lang na umakyat. Okay, walang support habang papakyat. Okay. But friction is not negligible. Okay, the crate slides only 1.6 meters up the ramp. So bitin. Okay, so dito lang, hanggang dyan lang. Imbis na yung buong 2.5 meters, hanggang 1.6 meters lang siya. Okay, it stops and slides back down. Letter A, find the magnitude of the friction force acting on the crate, assuming that it is constant. And letter B, how fast is the crate moving when it reaches the bottom of the ramp? Okay, now, first of all, bakit natin kailangan i-assume na constant yung friction? Kasi pag hindi siya constant, anong magiging consequence nun sa calculations? Mag-i-integrate tayo. To solve for the work done, kailangan nating integrate. Kailangan natin gumamit ng integral. Hindi natin pwede ilabas yung force out of the integral. Diba? Pero dahil constant siya, pwede natin ilabas yung force out of the integral, which makes things easier. Okay? So actually, papadali lang ito ng buhay. Okay. Letter B, bakit pa tinatanong yung speed at the bottom of the ramp? Hindi ba siya 5 meters per second din? Hindi. Bakit? Kasi? Gawin nga, okay lang yan. Kasi nga may friction. Diba? Dahil sa friction, hindi niya na-reach yung full na expected na 5 meters. Sorry, 2.5 meters. Galing lang siya sa 1.6 meters. At dahil mas mababa yung pinanggalingan niya, mas mabagal lang din yung speed according sa conservation of energy. Okay, so kaya tignan natin kung yun nga yung mangyayari. Okay, now, tinatanong ko itong mga bagay nito kasi ganun din dapat yung iniisip ninyo. Kasi sa letter A, okay, hindi ako mag-integrate. Okay, so mas madali lang. Ang gagamitin ko lang is work is equal to force times distance. Okay, so straightforward yung calculation. Sa letter B, ina-expect nyo na mas maliit sa 5 meters per second yung sagot. Okay, so, pag ganun nga yung mga nakuha ninyo, edi mas lalo kayo magiging confident sa mga sagot. So let's do that. Sa letter A, syempre ang kukonsider natin sa letter A, yung 0.1 at saka yung 0.2. Tama? Okay, so at 0.1, ano yung total mechanical energy? Okay, so anong gagawin natin na reference? Gagawin natin na reference ay itong height na ito. Okay? So y1 is equal to 0. So at 0.1, ano yung total mechanical energy? So it's just 1/2 mv1 squared. Diba? Or equal to saan? 1/2 times 12 kilograms yung crate and yung initial na speed is 5 meters per second squared. Okay, equal to sa 150 joules. Okay. And then so ito yung K1 K1. And then yung U1 is equal to 0 kasi sinabi natin na yung Y1 is 0. And remember tayo yung nag-set nun. Okay? So kasi nga you can choose any reference you like. At point 2, okay, at point 2, ano yung tawag dito? Ano yung energy niya doon? Kinetic energy. Total mechanical energy is kinetic energy plus potential. So ano yung kinetic energy niya at point 2? Ano ba sinabi at point 2? Nag-stop. So 0. K2 is equal to 0 kasi nag-stop siya. Okay, and ang U2 is equal to okay, dyan siya tumigil. Anong U2? Mg Y2 is equal to 12 kilograms, times 9.8 meters per second squared. Tapos, ano yung height dyan? 0.8, hindi 1.6. Di ba? Kasi yung 1.6, yun yung length ng ramp. Pero remember, consider natin dito yung vertical. And kanina, di ba, sinabi natin, di ba, kung meron kang displacement na tabingi, ang i-consider mo yung component lang niya na vertical. Hindi mo i-consider yung horizontal component. So, ang vertical displacement niya is 0.8 meters. So, lalagay natin dito is 0.8 meters. Okay. So, yan na yun. Okay. So, equal to ngayon sa, sabi dito, 94 joules. Oh, pansin nyo na hindi sila equal. Hindi equal yung total mechanical energy sa point 1 at saka yung total mechanical energy sa point 2. Okay? Bakit hindi sila equal? Kasi merong friction. Work done by friction. So work, again, dun sa equation na gagamitin natin, it's K1 plus U1 plus work other equals K2 plus U2. Eh, ang K1 is 150 joules. Ang U1 ay 0. So ito ay 0. Ang K2 ay 0. So ang work other is equal to U2 minus K150, sorry, ang U2 is 94. Oops, napunta yun. U2 is 94 joules minus 150 joules. So ang work other is equal to negative 56. Okay, negative 56 joules. Okay, so so far so good. Negative yung work other. Okay, so equal to sa friction times yung displacement. Now, ang displacement niya ay anong displacement nung box? 1.6. Kasi yun yung ano, 'di ba, length na tinravel nung box, okay? So, ang friction force ngayon is negative 56 joules divided by 1.6 meters. So, ang frictional force is 35 newtons. Okay? 35 newtons. Negative 35 newtons. Okay, ang ibig sabihin lang ng negative sign niyan is that it's opposite the direction of the displacement. Okay? Okay, so even though, tignan nyo, even though mababa yung frictional force, okay, mababa yung frictional force, 35 newtons lang, ang liit-liit lang nun. Pero, ang laki ng effect niya kasi imbis na 2.5 meters yung paabutin niya, hanggang 1.6 lang, nabawasan siya ng 0.9 meters. Okay, so small amount of friction results to that amount of displacement, okay, or loss in energy. Okay, so letter B, how fast is the crate when moving when it reaches the bottom of the ramp? So dagdag tayo ng slide. Okay, and gaano siya kabilis kung dumating siya sa baba. Okay, so start tayo ngayon sa point 2. Tapos babalik tayo sa point 3 or pupunta tayo sa point 3 ngayon, which is just the same level as point 1. Okay, pero syempre iba na kasi yung speed kaya nag-introduce tayo ng bagong number. So at point 2, ano yung K1? 0, di ba? Kasi nag-stop siya dun sa taas, di ba, sa 1.6. And yung U1, point 2 nga eh. K2 is 0 at ang U2 is ilan? 94 joules. Okay. At point 3, ilan na to? At point 3, ano yung kanyang kinetic energy? It's 1/2 mv3 squared. Yung v3 nga yung hinahanap natin dito. Tapos, ano na yung kinetic, yung gravitational potential energy at U3? So, bumalik siya dun sa same level, sa ground level. Anong 0 yun? Kasi yung Y3 ay 0. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, tawag dito. And remember, hindi pa rin nawawala yung friction. Diba? Pababa, meron pa rin frictional force. So, kailangan nyo pa rin introduce yun. So, again, ano yung initial? Ang initial is K2 plus U2 plus work other equals sa final, which is K3 plus U3. Now, from here, ito ay 0. Derive natin, yan ay 0. So, ang hinahanap natin ngayon is K3. K3 is equal to U2 plus W other. Ang U2 is 94 joules at yung work other ay ilan? Negative 56 joules. Okay. Okay, sandali negative 56 joules. Okay. Wait. Nintindi ko lang yung nasa book. Sabi dito, times 2. Bakit times 2? Goes up and down. Hindi ko naintindihan bakit times 2. Actually, pag hindi natin times 2 yan, hindi, okay lang. 94 joules, okay lang yan. So, baka iba yung ano nyo dito. So, 94 joules, ano yung work other? Negative 56 joules. So, ano ang K3 ngayon? Ilan to? 38 joules. Okay, so, equal ngayon to sa, so, ang 30 joules, so equal to sa 1/2 times yung mass na 12 kilograms and then yung V3 squared. Okay, so, 2 times 30 joules divided by 12 kilograms is equal to V3 and then kunin natin yung square root. Do we choose positive or negative? Negative, okay. Okay, kasi pababa. Okay, so, itong na yun ay negative 2.5 meters per second. Okay, so nangalahati yung kanyang speed. Speed, speed, hindi velocity. Kasi yung speed niya paakyat is 5 meters per second, pero yung speed niya pababa is 2.5 meters per second. And that's all because of friction. Ayos. Ayos. Okay. So, tapusin ba natin or tapusin na natin or tapusin na natin? Ano na? Okay, sige. Anong klaseng sagot din yun? Tapusin na natin. So parang labo din eh. Well, the next type of energy is elastic potential energy. Okay? And ang isang example na elastic potential energy ay yung legs natin. Yung tendons, di ba? And then yung muscles. So, kaya tayo nakakatalon, it's because of those muscles and tendons that are working together. Okay? And they work together tawag dito, such that di ba, nagko-contract sila, nagko-compress. So merong elastic force na involve. And we can model yung legs natin as sort of a spring. Right? Paano ba kayo tumalon? Anong unang ginagawa niyo pag tatalon kayo? Yuyuko muna kayo, di ba? O hindi yuyuko, magbe-bend. I-bend nyo muna yung legs niyo and then saka nyo ipupush yung legs niyo against the floor para makatalon kayo upward. Right? And minsan, hindi nyo kailangan ng matinding bend ng legs. Minsan, nakukuha niyo yung pagtalon ninyo dun mismo sa tendon. Kasi, di ba, kahit na nakatayo kayo, i-push nyo lang ng ganyan yung ano ninyo, di ba, yung toes ninyo paakyat, makakatalon pa rin kayo paakyat, di ba, without bending your legs, right? So, ganun kalakas yung elastic forces dyan sa tendons at saka sa muscles niya. Okay? So, yun yung pag-aaralan natin next meeting. Okay? So, next meeting, we'll discuss elastic potential energy as the second type of energy. Okay? So, may tanong? Okay. Walang tanong. And okay, nandito pa silang 7. Okay, so thank you for coming, and sa inyo din, thank you for coming, and I will see you on Thursday. Okay, sige.